Hello and welcome back. Another episode of Sports Tank with me, Brandon. Um, Today we're gonna talk about a couple things for teams that are already in their off season. We're gonna talk about the playoff matchups and a little basketball. We're gonna slowly reincorporate basketball into the program. I've done a full dive into the football season, on top of all the other stuff. So we're gonna slowly reincorporate the basketball aspect back into that, but I haven't been paying too much, so there's not gonna be. But before we get started, I just want to shout out all the sponsors from Built Bar to Bet Us to Leaf, BetMGM, FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, and SeatGeek. You go to SeatGeek and use code Off the Ball Network in all caps. Get a $20 discount for a new user. All right, got that out of the way. The first thing I want to talk about, I saw, what is today? Wednesday, technically. So yesterday, I watched a slight interview with Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show, because he goes on there almost every week. And I'm not gonna lie, when the interview started, going into this offseason for him, thought it was. I still think that there's a higher chance than most people believe for him to retire. I just don't see him really wanting to go to a brand new team, trying to learn all the new stuff and just figuring everything out on a brand new team when he's been on a team and he's been dominant on that team for what, 15 years almost. I don't know. I don't see him really retire, or I don't see him really going to a new team. I think if Aaron Rodgers wants to play football, he's going to find a way to do it for the Green Bay Packers. Now, with that being said, at the same time, he it all depends on what the Packers want to do, because he has said that he did not want to be part of a rebuild. He's cool with a reload, but not a rebuild. He's too old for that, clearly. I mean, if I was him, I wouldn't really want to rebuild either. But I think that there's a couple very interesting places that he could go and instantly become impactful if he doesn't stay with the Packers. He could go to the Raiders. Derek Carr, they benched him the last thing in the season. Now, I don't know exactly how Josh McDaniels would like Aaron Rodgers, but I think with him, they'd have a dominant tight end in Darren Waller. They'd have a great slot in Hunter Renfro, and he'd get Devontae Adams back. Aaron Rodgers with Devontae Adams automatically puts you in the playoffs. You add Darren Waller, you add Hunter Renfro, you add Josh Jacobs. Granted, their offensive line isn't great, but with Aaron, if he were to go to the Raiders, he would take a. He has already said that he's willing to restructure his deal, because I think next year he's slated to make like $60 million, which is insane. But if he restructures that, and even, I mean, imagine he restructures that, right? Turns it into a Tom Brady type deal. That's saving any team almost 30-40 million dollars. Now I have a hard time believing that anybody could go and be like, yeah, I don't want this extra 40 mil. But that all depends on how bad he wants to win. Um yeah, so I think the Raiders would be an interesting spot. Now, I may be a little biased, but I really think I also campaigned for this a lot last year before he announced he was going back to the Packers. I really think on the Steelers, buddy. I mean, even if it was for say 3 years, those 3 years, Kenny Pickett would be sitting behind the greatest thrower of the football ever. He'd be learning from Aaron Rodgers. He'd be learning, so he'd be getting naturally more mature in his own head. And I think he would just become more and more confident he is. So if the Pittsburgh Steelers were to bring in Aaron Rodgers, we have Deontay Johnson, we have George Pickens. I think Aaron Rodgers and George Pickens would be one of the most dynamic duos in the league. Aaron would be looking to throw him the ball as much as physically possible. And I think that would be a great sight to see. Now, with Aaron coming to Pittsburgh, we would 100% have to fire our OC because our OC is absolute dog shit. And there's zero chance that Aaron Rodgers comes to our team with him as our OC. I don't see it happening. Matt Canada's ass. He just picks high school playbooks and tries to run them against pros. That's all he does. I'm convinced literally all Matt Canada does is try to run high school offense in the NFL, and I'm sick and tired of it. Is Matt Canada's version of an offense with the misdirection in it is putting one guy in motion and sometimes handing them the ball and sometimes not handing them the ball. That's it. That's what we got. We're professionals and we can put one guy in motion. Get the fuck out of my face. Now, Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line isn't great either, but once again, we can fix that. And yeah. And then what was the other play? Indy, if you were to send Aaron Rodgers to Indianapolis, that would be very interesting. Because people have been saying that the Indianapolis Colts are a quarterback away for what, 2-3 years? Now, they were a quarterback away when they signed Phillip Rivers. They were a quarterback away when they got Carson Wentz, and they were a quarterback away when they got Matt Ryan. And they sucked. They sucked. Now, last year more than any other year, but they were fucking terrible. Like, not good at all. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers would want to play for Jeff Saturday. I don't know if Jeff Saturday is going to be the head coach. The Colts organization, as of right now, is in complete shambles. So we can't really predict what that team's going to look like. But if Aaron Rodgers went there, I know they would be significantly better. Significantly better than they are right now. But I'm not Aaron Rodgers. I'm not a head coach. I'm not a GM. I'm not an owner. There's nothing I can do about it. I would love to see Aaron stay because I think he could really do something in his second year with that squad and those receivers and stuff. But then I would also love to see him go somewhere else because we've seen him in a Green Bay Packers uniform for 18 years and he's been mistreated all 18 years. What really pisses me off with the Packers is they have never built a team for Aaron Rodgers. They just put a team out there and Aaron Rodgers finds ways to win. Now, they've won like one Super Bowl, which is terrible, but you can't blame Aaron for that. You can't blame Aaron. You can't. That organization they stripped him thin almost. Like, besides Devontae Adams last season, like, he has not had any great skill position players outside of Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams. I mean, there's no other person to really show for it. And I think that means a lot. I'm not, like I said, I'm not entirely sure. Nobody is, obviously. Now, I think it would be pretty wild if Aaron Rodgers decided he wanted to retire after last season because it was a bad season overall. But there is a world where I see that happening. He just retires, goes off into the sunset, and does his little hippie bullshit thing for the rest of his life and lives happily ever after. And we never hear from Aaron Rodgers ever again. There's a world where that could happen. There is, but I don't see it happening. In all honesty, I think he's going to go back to the Packers for a lesser deal, and they'll probably sign some, I'm not going to say big name guys, but they're going to sign and see what they can do. That's my Aaron Rodgers rant. It wasn't really a rant, all discussion with myself. I'm gonna slide over and start talking about the upcoming championship games. They are both on Sunday, which is interesting. You would have thought they would have put one on Saturday, one on Sunday, or one on Sunday, one on Monday, but whatever. We got San Fran and Philly at 2, and then the Bills in Kansas City at 5:30. Those are Central Time. San Francisco and the Eagles. I don't know why. I'm very indifferent about this game because I'd be happy either way. If if the Eagles win, then the Eagles continue to be dominant, and Coach Nick Sirianni can continue to get the praise, and we can just keep watching how fucking amazing this team is week after week after week after week after week after week after week. They had a little skid when Jalen got hurt and a little before that, but other than I'd say those 3, maybe 4 weeks, they have looked like the best team in the league. And to me, the Eagles have looked, I'm not going to say head and shoulders better than everybody because they don't look that much better than everybody, but they look like the most complete team in the league to me. Their quarterback is a guy. Their running back is a guy. Their O-line, the Eagles probably have the best O-line in the National Football League. Their receivers, A.J. Brown is a guy. Devontae Smith is a beast. Dallas Goedert, beast. I mean, there's nobody on that offense that is bad. No one. You cannot name a single person on that offense and say that they are not a good player. That entire offense is full of studs. It doesn't matter what happens. Somebody's going to be open or somebody's going to make a play 9 times out of 10 on that team. Nuts. And then that defense, their D-line is nuts. They're old, but they're still very good, and they are deep. If you remember, they signed Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. That's a lie. Linval Joseph and who? Hold on, I'm sorry. They signed Linval Joseph and who? Oh, it wasn't Ndamukong Suh. Okay, see, I'm not crazy. And then they also have just look at these defensive linemen for the Eagles. Derek Barnett, he's injured. Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave, Teron Jackson, not really sure who that is. Linval Joseph, Robert Quinn, Denarius Robinson, shout out my boy, Bay High School representing. He's out on the IR with an ankle. Ndamukong Suh, Josh Sweat. Like, those are names. And that's how many guys? Those guys, that is quite a few names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have two defensive lines on their team. Two full sets of defensive lines. That's nuts. I mean, and then the Kobe Dean's very good. TJ Edwards, great tackler. Hassan Reddick, great pass rusher. Kazir White, great run stopper. I mean, their DBs are fantastic. James Bradbury, TJ Gardner Johnson. I mean, big play Slay. I mean, like, Darius Slay may be the best corner in the league this season. Like, it's going to be so fun to watch Darius Slay match up with Deebo Samuel all game. All game. Now, I veered off my point for a second, but that Eagles team, there's no holes in that Eagles team. None. It's going to be very hard to do anything against them. And with a rookie quarterback in Brock Purdy, it's hard for me to believe, even with all the studs around them, that they're going to pull this off just because the Eagles are so good. And like I said, there's 0 holes in their team. But on the flip side of that, there is also a part of me that hopes Brock Purdy just fucking goes off. They win this game, go to the Super Bowl. Brock Purdy, I would love for the 49ers to be in a situation where they have Jimmy G, they traded up to get Trey Lance, and Mr. Irrelevant is right now their starting quarterback. Like, that's nuts. What are they going to do in the offseason? If Brock Purdy goes and wins this game, no matter what happens in the Super Bowl, Brock Purdy has a very good chance of at least fighting to be the starter on the team next. Trey Lance hasn't shown us anything good to me. And Brock Purdy, he's a guy. Like, he's a dude. He's super accurate, poison the pocket, can get away from defenders when needed. I mean, he's just a tough quarterback. I love watching him. And I would love for Brock Purdy to go and be the next Tom Brady. I would. The Mr. Irrelevant, I would become a 49ers fan. Honestly, if Brock Purdy stays and becomes like a superstar quarterback, count me as a 49ers fan. They'll be my second team. They'll be my NFC team. My AFC team will always be the Steelers, but the 49ers will become my NFC if that happens. Now, like I said, I think it's going to be a dogfight. Nick Bosa's a beast rushing the passer. They got Eric Armstead on the D-line too. I can't really think of San Francisco's defense as much. All I know is that defense is killer. We got two killer defenses against a killer offense, and then an offense that is very good, but not. I would say that the 49ers offense is not as good as the Eagles offense, but the 49ers offense is still very good. Don't get me wrong. Especially now with Christian McCaffrey, he has become their offense. Him and Debo, I mean, it's nuts. Crazy to watch. I love it. I love it. My prediction for that game, though, I think, what is the line at? Right now, it's Eagles minus 2.5. If I was a betting man, I would take the Eagles money line. I don't know if I would take the 2.5. Just because I think this is going to be a very. It's I don't know about betting, so don't. And I didn't say anything about 2.5. I think the Eagles would win. I do. And then Cincinnati and Kansas City. I mean, this is the matchup that we've seen. We saw it last year, and we're probably going to see this matchup at least 6 more times before it's all said and done with these quarterbacks. I mean, Joe Burrow just has a different level when it comes to playoff football. It is nuts. People were saying all season that the Bengals were fake. They were fakers last year. They weren't. Last year was a one-off. That offensive line is still buns, which it should be buns. But Joe Burrow finds ways. It doesn't matter. Joe Burrow is getting the ball out quick. So it almost doesn't matter how bad that their offensive line is. Joe Burrow's getting the ball out so quick and so accurate to the right guy every time. And the receiving trio in Cincinnati, as we all know, is probably the best trio of receivers in the entire league. Jamar Chase, obviously monster. T. Higgins, obviously a monster. And Tyler Boyd is a beast. Tyler Boyd gets a little, what am I trying to say? He gets slept on a little bit because he's not as good as the other two, but he's still very good. He may be hurt. I don't know. But, yeah, that Cincinnati offense is, they know what they're doing when it comes to playoff football. They do. In terms of their defense, I don't like so much that Eli Apple is talking a bunch of shit, especially when he's not that great of a corner. Like, he can say that he locks people up, but he really doesn't. I mean, he gets burnt a lot. Now, as a corner, if you're not confident, you're already beat. So I understand where it's coming from, but maybe he just doesn't run his mouth as much. Maybe he just shuts the fuck up a little bit and focuses on football, because usually when he runs his mouth, it doesn't end up well for him. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that Cincinnati team, they flip a switch when it comes to the playoffs. It's very crazy. In terms of Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes is fully practicing, so I would expect him to. There's zero chance in my mind that he doesn't play. He's definitely going to play. This is what you play the whole season for. If you can go out there, you go out there. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be extra locked in, but not overly. They're not going to be over analyzing stuff. Like, they're going to be locked in, and I think everything they're going to do is going to be very precise and on the dot at all times. But I don't think that they're going to look like robots. I think they're gonna go out there loose like they always do. I think Travis Kelce, if even if Cincinnati kind of like fades towards Travis Kelce all game or whatever, I think he's still gonna have a monster game. He finds ways to get to the open spots on the field anytime, and I don't see this being any different. Now, Cincinnati has had their number, and I think that's why they're going to be super focused. Now, will the focus and precision lead to the same level of execution? We will see, but you would assume that even if it doesn't, with the Chiefs, even if they go down 21, maybe even 28 points, like you're still like, this is the Chiefs. They could definitely come back. So I don't think anybody will ever be counting the Chiefs out of that game. I just expect them to come out, like I said, very precise and focused, and they're going to do everything possible to win this game. I don't think that they don't. There's not a. Oh my gosh, English, Brandon. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I can't. I do believe that the Kansas City Chiefs hate the fact that the Cincinnati Bengals seemingly have their number. Every time they play, Cincinnati finds a way to win. And just to kind of wrap up the playoffs part, I do believe that the Kansas City Chiefs will end up winning. And I think that the Chiefs and the Eagles are going to play in the Super Bowl. That'll be a great game. I think that the Chiefs Bengals game may go to overtime like the Bills Chiefs game did last year, but we shall see. Now, in terms of for the overall of the playoffs, I think that where we're at right now, I think for the first time in a while, we actually have the best four teams. I think the actual best four teams are in it and have a chance to win it all. And I think these playoffs may be something I think that these playoffs are going to be very special. From this game to the Super Bowl, I think it's going to be talked about for years to come. And I really like the direction of the league because if you look, the four quarterbacks left in the left right now. Patrick Mahomes, he's like 25, 26. Joe Burrow, he's like 25. Brock Purdy, rookie, and did I say Jalen Hurts? I think so. And Jalen Hurts. Like that is the new generation of the league is here. They are yet the guys like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers and even some of the guys a little younger than them but have been in the league for a while. Like they're getting pushed, they're getting forced out, whether they like it or not. They're getting, but I think it's very good for the league that the young guys are already stepping up. That just means that for at least 6, 7 more years, we're going to be seeing the same faces in the playoffs, and it's going to be some battles. There are going to be some crazy battles, and I honestly just can't wait to watch. Let's see. I was thinking about doing a watch along for the games. I'm not entirely sure. Um, if you guys want me to do a watch along, shoot me a message or a DM on Twitter, or just shoot me a DM, post it. I don't care. Just if you want the watch along for the championship game, I'll do it if people will be there. I'm trying to. Now, in terms of basketball, like I said, it's going to be very short because I haven't watched a lot. All I can say is LeBron James is still fucking him. The Lakers are finding their way slowly but surely. Anthony Davis has been out for the past like 20 games. I love that Thomas Bryant's finally in the lineup and playing. I think he's a great addition for us. Another big, more shooting. I think that's exactly what we need. Some defense. And we just traded for, I'm going to butcher this name. Rui Hachimura. I think he's going to be a great addition. I don't. I'm sure he can shoot, but he's not known as a shooter. But he is good defensively, and you can never have too much defense, especially when you have AD and LeBron on your team. Like I think that the defense of the Los Angeles Lakers is going to start coming together. If you would have asked me this at the beginning of the season, I would have said the Lakers have zero chance of making the playoffs. But the way that if Anthony Davis comes back and plays like he was playing before he got hurt, he had like 4 or 5 straight games of 30 plus points with some 40-point games in there. Like he was going ham, and then he got hurt again because Anthony Davis is literally as soft as a piece of like it is ridiculous. I hate it so much, but we're fighting through. We're fighting through. And if LeBron can keep playing at the level he's playing, sidebar, he's about to pass Kareem, and I've seen that he has been working on a little post hook shot. If he beats the record on a hook shot, that's almost mad disrespect. Like that's pretty close to some mad disrespect. Like, hey Kareem, I'm better than you, and I'm using your move. Like, oh fuck, man. But that'll be great to watch. I'll definitely be watching that game if possible. Whenever that game comes, I think within the next like couple weeks, he's gonna be passing it. But sidebar again. But the Lakers team with Russ, I still hate that we have Russ. I do. Trade deadline is February 9th. I pray to God we find a way to get rid of him. I doubt it's gonna happen, but I pray to God. But with that being said, he has not been awful in his 6-man role. He hasn't been terrible. He hasn't been fucking fantastic in any way, shape, or form. But he hasn't been awful. And I think with LeBron, and if AD can continue to be great, and Thomas Bryant continues to do what he's doing in his role, I think there's a path where the Lakers go on a run at the end of the season. We're hot going into the playoffs, and we make a run in the playoffs and find a way to win it all. Now, that's me saying, I am saying this 44 games into the season. So, by the end of the season, or maybe even after, or maybe with the month left in the season, I may change my tune completely. I may change my tune 100% and say, no, the Lakers fucking suck. We're done for. Ah, shit. Fuck. The Lakers suck. Get rid of Russ. Get rid of AD. LeBron needs to get off this team. We need to go to a team that can actually fucking win. I may say all of those things. But as of right now, I do see a chance for us to make the playoffs. And that makes me happy. Outside of the Lakers, I've been watching some of the Celtics play. Jason Tatum's him. I mean, Jason Tatum has been going. I thought last year in the playoffs. So last year, Jason Tatum made a leap from the regular season to the playoffs. And I thought that he was going to ride that leap and kind of be at the same level going into the beginning of this season. But even from last year's playoffs, Jason Tatum has made another leap into this regular season. I think there's a good chance that he went. I'm not going to make that prediction yet. But I would not be surprised if I see him winning MVP. The Celtics are a fun team to watch. They really are. And even with all the coaching controversy, that has basically meant nothing because they are still a fantastic basketball team. So crazy to me. It takes so much discipline and understanding of what, one, the business of the NBA is, two, that people make mistakes, and three, that it doesn't necessarily matter what that person did. It matters about the entire organization and how they're going to move forward. And I think that they've done it perfectly. Celtics are a great organization, even though I absolutely hate them because of LeBron James when he was on the Cavs. I love watching them. I do. I really do. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are probably one of the most talented, if not the most talented, pairings in the NBA right now. Great to watch. Are there any other teams that I have seen? I haven't really watched much. Now, like I said at the beginning, I will slowly be incorporating more basketball because I'm going to start watching more basketball. I'm gonna get some college basketball in here too, and I don't know exactly when, but I think I'm gonna start trying to do more like local team stuff and like high school maybe recruiting, look at recruits and college stuff and all that good, all that nice jazz. But yeah, I'm still kind of getting back into the flow, so we will continue just add on to it. That's all I got for this episode, y'all. I appreciate it. Please like, subscribe to Off the Ball Network. Please follow Off the Ball Network on all socials. Please follow me on all socials, Brandon Beasley. And yeah, I really appreciate it. See y'all next time.